Okay, so we just noticed this on the internet, and it's starting in 2022. Californians in some areas can legally eat roadkill. I don't know anybody in the state of California in my whole life, and I've been all over the place and grew up there. And let me tell you what, I've never known anybody that was excited to eat roadkill. The only place I ever was, well, two places I ever knew people that were really excited about roadkill was in Arkansas. True story.
Well, surprise too.
But actually not Arkansas. Oklahoma. Oklahoma, they love to pick up roadkill, and that's just the excitement of their day is to be driving by what's going to be their dinner. And I worked with a girl, and her husband was so thrilled when he found a dead squirrel on the road because he likes squirrel brains. And he jumped out of the truck like it was a fire and ran out to get that dead squirrel and threw it in the back because he wanted to eat that. I was like, ooh. And then where else up there is it that they like a roadkill? Alabama.
Yeah.
Just in Alabama and that area towards Florida, people like to get deer off the side of the road that have been hit by a car. And the problem is with deer is when they get hit,
their adrenaline pumps through and poisons meat.
Yeah, the adrenaline pumps through instantly upon impact, and then it kind of poisons the meat. It gives it a really foul taste. And so people who think they really made out like bacon didn't. Now in Oklahoma, I was there in '86, and if you hit a cow or something, then by law you owned it, and you could take it home with you or take it to a butcher and have them cut it up. And because they have open range in Oklahoma, which means the cows and everything can run across roads at any old time. And I've driven through stuff like that. It's horrible. I drove through like a herd of them one time, and a cow turned around and ran into my car, which I think was a bull. Actually, I wasn't really into countrified animals back then. Well, that place is busy, Carrie Jen.
Yeah, it's also got a buffet.
But isn't that interesting? Read that article, and let's hear what it says there a little bit.
All right. Sacramento Channel, CBS 13.
Sacramento,
California.
God, that's like being in Compton.
Drivers on several California roads will be able to take roadkill home and eat it in 2022. Governor Gavin Newsom signed Senate Bill 395 over the weekend. The new law will go into effect on January 1st of 2022 and will allow the State Fish and Game Commission to establish a wildlife salvage permit program. Under the program, drivers in 3 specific locations who accidentally hit and killed an elk, deer, pronghorn antelope, wild pig can immediately apply for a free permit online to take the animal. Drivers in those locations can also take a dead animal left on the side of the road if an animal is still living. Only a member of the Department of Fish and Wildlife or law enforcement will be allowed to kill the animal.
So you have to go online and get your permit to pick this dead thing up off the road.
Correct.
But if it's partially alive, then you have to get somebody from Fish and Game to come out and kill it,
and then
give it to you.
Yeah.
Man. And you know, there's so many homeless out there. The payroll is really expensive out there. There's There's a lot of people living in their cars out there now. But they've always had some homeless back in downtown LA for years and years and years. And but now it's like everybody's homeless just because of the rent. And if they got smart enough to get out of there, they'd find if they go across the states, the grass is greener on the other side. It's way cheaper. They have 1970s prices for rent in Florida, and nice places in Florida and stuff. And the cheapest place in the entire United States to live is Jacksonville, Florida. You can get like a 5-bedroom house for about $400 a month today in 2019. I don't care for Jacksonville at all, but I used to work there for a lot of years. It was fun back then, but I didn't live there. I was there a lot. But so this is amazing because that roadkill would feed people. I mean, I'm not into eating roadkill at all. I don't even like food that's over a day old. I'm really weird about that. I've been sick a few times from bad food in my life from restaurants and stuff in California. Yeah. Until they got caught by Board of Health. But, I mean, if I could feed some mouth, they didn't have grocery stores at Christopher Columbus Day and restaurants. They fished and lived off the land, even refrigeration didn't come till years later. But anyway, so that's just a thought. Tell us what you think. Did you read the whole article yet?
Get to this good part right here.
Oh, we got a good part here.
The goal of the Kill It and Grill It law is to improve roadway safety.
Kill it and grill it law?
For roadway safety for wildlife and cut down the number of wildlife killed by cars.
What? Cuts down the number of wildlife killed by cars?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how do you stop that? It happens. I'm not driving into a tree when I can run over a squirrel.
Yeah.
I promise you. I'm not wrecking my car for a damn squirrel, a cat, or a dog. If your stuff's running loose, party's over, Jack.
Each year, thousands of large game animals are struck on California highways, endangering motorists and disturbing the flow of wildlife throughout our state. This bill, SB 395, provides the California Department of Fish and SB 395 Wildlife, the other state agencies, the means of tracking these collisions so they might assess where wildlife highways crossings are needed most.
Wow.
That's it. Oh, no, here's more. Never mind.
Continue en route.
The new law will cost the Department of Fish and Wildlife approximately $375,000 in the first year to cover the cost of regulations, developing a data collection system, and creating the salvage permit. In the second year, the cost increases to $1.6 million to pay for the program.
Now, why are they going to waste all that money when they could be feeding homeless
Computer
and
equipment.
and helping with discount housing for people? That just blows my mind. They're going to blow all that government money to develop a program so you can pick up roadkill off the street legally and eat it. And I mean, if you move to the South, it's free. You find roadkill in the street, you can eat it. I mean, unless it's an endangered animal, like I have a friend of mine, Becky. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
God, this girl, she hid from the law for like 12 years. Her and her mother are very into animals.
They're animal lovers.
Very big time. And they will find injured animals and bring them back to health. And they got one of those, the blue parrot.
Oh, I can't remember.
Big blue beautiful parrot, the Amazon parrot, whatever it is. They had one of those fell out of a tree or something and was injured really bad. And I remember seeing it. It was a baby, and it was
probably somebody's pet or something that got loose. And they saved it. And then the people offered money for it and they wouldn't take it. They saved it for a pet. And then they had a squirrel that fell out of a tree and got injured. And that's in Dothan, Alabama. And they brought that thing back to health. They had a baby pig at one point in their house, which that's really a nightmare to have a baby pig. That's about as bad as having a big rabbit in your house. I've known 2 people that did that. Real mistake. If you like your furniture or your shoes, don't get a pet rabbit, for sure. Pigs are tough because they slip all over the floors. You put rubber mats down and stuff. But she was out at Lake Eufaula one summer, and everybody would go out to Lake Eufaula from all cities around and go out and hang out and swim out there and stuff, which is full of crocodiles and everything else, snakes. But there's people that would go out there, these truly southern people that nothing scares them, and they walk barefoot all the time. Becky was one of them. If you wanted shoes on her feet, you'd have to bolt them in because she could buy a pair of shoes, an hour later they're gone. She just couldn't keep track of a pair of shoes. But Becky is a real kind-hearted individual and loves animals and feels sorry for anything and anybody. She's got a big, big heart. So she was out at the lake that day with a whole bunch of people, and some jerk whipped out a gun and shot a baby gator or crocodile, whatever it is. And she was in tears. It was just a baby. And it was like, a couple feet long, I guess. She picked it up and put it in her trunk, wrapped it in a towel, and put it in the trunk, and got in the car. This is the last time she had a driver's license, too. Got in the car, went to go take it to a vet nearby that she knew. And somebody called and reported that she took this animal, and she was stopped on the highway right before she got to the vets, and they accused her of shooting it, much less having one in her possession in her vehicle. Took her driver's license, and she did several court cases and then hid from it because they had warrant for her arrest for having this animal in her possession when she was merely trying to save its life. She wouldn't hurt a flea, this girl. And very good friend of mine. It's really sad. And then years later, she tried to go to court to straighten it out. And we had a lawyer friend, and he offered to help her out for a minimal price. And they tried to fight it for about a year, and it still didn't cut it loose. And she had to go back to court again, and she hid from that. She's hiding today, all these years later. So that's really interesting. Okay, so so is that the end of the article?
No.
Okay, let's go on.
It will cost the department $1 million annually. The cost will also be incurred by Caltrans.
Caltrans?
Yeah.
I thought they were in charge of the Amtrak thing and the transportation.
Other states have similar kill it and grill it laws, including Alaska, Idaho, Montana, Oregon, and Washington.
I just passed a bulletin board that said when schools had prayer and Bibles, there were no drugs. And that's a lie, because I went to one of the finest parochial schools in Santa Monica, California, and there was more dope and hookers there and dope dealers than I ever saw in public school in California, in Marina Del Rey, or any other schools. Go ahead.
That was the end of it.
So what do you think about that?
Too much money, first of all. Make it more simple. Make it more make the law pass for it, but you don't have to actually have a permit unless it's the actual fish and game permit. You don't have to get just one special permit for one special thing. It should be all one permit for multiple things.
I think it's totally stupid. I think it's a total waste of money and time and even thought. Because the roadkill, period. Because here's another thing. When I lived in Arkansas, when I was
had the Titus house up on the hill. There was a dog that was hit in front of my house. I don't know whose dog it was just there. And it was hit and killed. There's a big curve around there, and people like to speed around there. And they weren't supposed to be going like over 35 over there. But people would come flying through there about 55 sometimes. But so this dog gets killed. Well, after like 3 days, this thing starts swelling up like a balloon. 4 days. This sucker sat out there about 2 weeks. It reeked so bad, I could hardly live in my house. It was so foul because it was right down on the street, and my house was up on the hill. And I mean, the house was probably 200 foot from the dog on the street, maybe more. But it reeked, dead reeks. And the city has to come out and pick that up. And I called the city a couple times, like, are you going to come out and pick it up when we get time? Because they have like one person for both cities. But the city has to come out. They have to pay somebody to come out there to pick up this animal and do whatever they do with it. They used to take dead dogs and animals and dead horses and stuff and recycle and make dog food out of them for years. But, I mean, they have to pay somebody to go pick that stuff up. And when it rots in the road, it reeks. It freaks out little kids if you're walking down the sidewalk and see this animal that's been there like a week. But I think that's a gross waste of money. It saves on having the city pick it up. If people are in need of food that much and they would like to eat roadkill, I think they should just let them do it. It's better than taking drugs, because most of the drugs out there are no good. But I mean, such is life, If you live in a place and you see somebody hit something that you would eat, a wild animal, a wandering animal, and you decide, here's Arabs that eat goats, and Mexicans that will eat, rat, cat, dog, goats, Orientals that do the same thing. Anything that's walking, by God, they're going to eat it.
Is it below my?
And, that's their choice. So I think it's a total waste of money and a total waste of government time to even think about that. It's just stupid. So I hope Trump jumps in there and straightens these bozos out, because I can't even believe we're wasting time thinking about that. In California, how archaic is that for California to think about having a law, because apparently they must have a law against picking up roadkill right now. Why on earth would California even think about something like that? But hell, last time I was back home in California just recently, they had signs on every corner and signs on every building. And I was like, God, this is like the land of rules now. It's nothing like when I grew up there. Everywhere you go, it's signs, signs, signs. Anyway, so tell us what you think. Comment below. Hope you're having a great day. And we're cruising the boulevard in Florida.